kindness and hugs at the door. I also remember the day when you were telling us about an incident where one of Pastor's teachers called him a bull-headed German. Captain goes on to say, "Oops, I let it out." I guess Pastor wasn't supposed to know that. I hope I don't get into trouble. Okay, when this is from Kim and Roy Ramsey. When Kim and I first came to Susie's Sunday school class in 1981, Susie met us as we came in and asked what our names were. Of course, we said Roy and Kim Ramsey. When she introduced us to the class, she said, class, say hello to Tom and Kim. After Sunday school, I approached Susie and reminded her that my name was Roy and not Tom. Of course, Susie was very embarrassed and apologized for getting my name wrong. However, the very next Sunday, Susie says, "It is nice to see you, Tom." Again, this went on for several weeks. Susie continued to call me Tom. After 2 or 3 months of this, I just decided that I could either legally change my name or get used to being called Tom. And then he goes on to say, this went on for several years. And it wasn't until I joined the church board that Pastor finally must have told Susie that there was not a Tom, but that there was a Roy Ramsey. And now, will the real Roy Ramsey please say it? Where are you, Roy? Where are you? Okay. Each person had a different story to tell, a unique way that Pastor and Susie ministered to them. And one continuous theme from letter to letter is the love, warmth, and open hearts that Pastor and Susie had towards every person they met. Here are some examples of that. This was a latecomer here. This is a drawing that the Palmer's granddaughter had drawn for them, and it's of Pastor Umfenauer up at the podium. So he meant not only to us adults there, Pastor, but the children there in the church also. He meant a lot to them, Pastor. There are so many wonderful things he said about the Umfenauer's ministry. And one of these very touching memories I have was when the night Leonard and Ruby Palmer, Leonard had the car wrecked, and Pastor and Susie arrived at the hospital a few minutes after we got there and stayed until around midnight. They were so kind and helpful to me, and that is just an example of the pastoral care for all of us. A short time after they came, Susie called me and asked if I could recommend a dentist. I gave her our dentist's name, and a few minutes later, the phone rang, and our dentist's office wanted to know if I knew a Russell up and over. I told the lady that the name was Umfenauer, and she said, "Oh, I'm having trouble with that name," which I'm sure a lot of people have said over the years, Pastor. This is from Pam Galeri. What impresses on my mind is Pastor and Susie's commitment to the church family. Many times, Pastor has expressed the feelings about all of us, his family. It was through personal experience that our family saw the sincerity of Pastor's concern and love for us during that experience. During one time of trial, he personally came to us with great concern without being asked. He called to check on us, and he went out of his way to meet with us and pray with us. And here's from Fred and Lizzie Pace. Dear Pastor and Susie, I don't know how to tell you how much we have appreciated having you and Susie for our pastors and friends. You have meant so much to each group in the church, and we have appreciated. Excuse me, Pastor, would you please stop fidgeting? I'm kind of having a hard time with it.
I'll try, Bob.
We have appreciated all your prayers for us and for our unsaved family. We are going to miss you both so much. Hope you will stay in Fairfield and continue to be a part of our church. We love you both. This is from Buddy Connor. Thank you both for coming one night a few years ago when my grandmother had passed away. Jerry was in Fresno at work, and he was there when Grandma had her fatal heart attack. When he called you, you both came over and prayed with me. It really was a comfort and it really was a comfort. And thank you so very much. Okay. Some of these is hard to read because they were copied, and it's hard to read some of the copying. And this one here means a lot to me because it's from a new couple in our church, and I visited them personally with our new Alpha Visitation Ministry and saw them in church the very next Sunday. So it's from Jim and Laurie Darrow. Excuse me. It's my Massachusetts accent. After my mother passed away last December, Pastor Umfenauer came over at our request to talk about funeral plans and to pray for her soul and for us. Since I had never met him, Pastor, I was a little reserved. My 2-year-old son, Corey, however, had no such compunctions and proceeded to gather all his toy cars, his favorite toys, up and put them in Pastor's hands, one by one. Needless to say, Pastor Umfenauer rates awfully high in the mind of my son, and in mine also. And Lucia Latman writes, I have felt your ministry of love through my family. Your concern for my husband Ron, my daughter Melissa, and son Paul have been a source of strength to me. A part of me feels sad. Because I will miss you, but I'm happy for you also. I know you have a lot of new plans and goals, something exciting to look forward to. Till we meet in heaven, I know God will keep and bless you. And the Pedersen state, Pastor and Susie have been wonderful, caring pastors, examples of good shepherds. There are many things we could say about their faithfulness to us. The many, many times of coming to David Grant Hospital, and would you believe they also came to San Francisco when Chris had his eye surgery. Believe me, we did appreciate those visits. Again, thanks to each of you, and God bless you. Don Smith, he's a new member in our church, and he's been in the choir, or he sings in the choir. He states, when I first came to this church, I was already in the choir for quite a while, and Pastor said hi and everything else to me. Pastor called me later and said he would like to meet me, and he did this 4 different times. In choir, he's always full of life. And wrapping things up here, this is from Bill and Margaret
I'm
Chisholm.
glad you said that, Bob, because we're pressed for time.
Dear Pastor and Susie, we feel very fortunate to have had you as our pastors these past 10 years. There are many memorable times you've been so faithful and caring. The many times you have come to our home and prayed for me and encouraged me. You and Susie will always be remembered and loved. We wish you both many, many years of happy retirement. It will take some time and adjustment, but you'll love it and enjoy it after a while. Have a great time in Hawaii. You both deserve it. I wish I could go. We love you, Pastor. Thank you.
I want to say, speaking for the pulpit committee, that if we need a substitute pulpit guest, we know where we can get a Russell Humphrey. what you will remember after tonight. Pastor and Susie seemed to enjoy that, so hopefully we didn't embarrass them or make them uncomfortable. All in fun and a little bit of roasting. And you can remember those things, and we will remember them too, long after you're gone. All right, I would like to ask Laura and Frank if they will come at this time and make a presentation.
I have the privilege and honor on behalf of the Joy Fellowship to present Pastor and Susie with a pamper basket. We each month, as the ladies get together, there is one lady who wins the drawing and gets a pamper basket, which is filled with all kinds of goodies, from school supplies, to stationery, to bubble bath, and sparkling cider, and just one way of pampering our ladies of our church. And I'd like Pastor and Susie to come up. And I have my husband here to help me because since Pastor and Susie are going to Hawaii, it's far away, we have a very big pamper basket, and I need his help. For starters, there is a beach mat and umbrella. Here's the pamper basket itself. Of course, Pastor will need his swimming trunks. And then Susie will need her bathing suit. And of course, they'll need their thongs.
The big ones are mine.
And some shower gel. And of course, some towelettes. Has sunscreen in it for tanning. We just want to let Pastor and Susie know that they're very loved and appreciated on behalf of our ladies.
Hey, that was great. And I hope you especially got a picture of him in the glasses.
Thank you so very much. We appreciate it so very much. And I see how nervous I am when I'm sitting down.
This program is turning into PG-13. Or maybe R, I'm not sure.